my bedroom, my tropical paradise, and my tropical nightmare. Let's be honest, real brutal honesty here. I have accumulated way too many plants for this room and for my entire home. You can see that spot there at the window. There used to be two more of those dark tables, and I already sold the plants. All of them that were on the table, I just had to get rid of them. I don't have the space anymore. So right now is the perfect timing for me to do the houseplant tour video, because I am downsizing even more. I am renovating the whole bedroom. I'm gonna give it, new wall color. We brighten everything up, new furniture. We're gonna get rid of all of the dark tables here and new bedding, making everything brighter. So now is the time, and we're starting here with the first plant that you see when you come into the room, which is the Hoya Vietnam. I love the Hoya Vietnams because they have these thick, juicy, waxy leaves with dark black veining, and I'm a sucker for some dark veining. I had this plant for 6 months and it hasn't put out a new leaf, but look at it. Look where I put it, like in the darkest corner. So I'm not blaming the Hoya. All guilty fingers are showing right at me. I am the one to blame. Let's take a look and talk real quick about my humidifier, because I always get asked about this humidifier. It's the Itvanila humidifier. It's a floor standing cool mist humidifier, and I will have a link in the description. I have 3 of them. That's how much I love it. I have 3 of them and I had to pay for them. None were gifted or it's not sponsored. I just love them that much. So this is the first corner here, the furthest away from the windows. My Monstera Elbow, I am like super proud. I don't know why, because I didn't do anything. That's just what nature made this plant look like, but it's super sexy. It is from Logis, and they still sell variegated monsteras, and I have 2 from Logis. And I need to say also, everyone else I know that has run from Logis, they have the best variegation. I did do 2 top cuttings, one for financial gain, so the plant paid for itself, and the second top cutting I did for charity, so 100% of the proceeds went to a good cause, so I didn't feel that guilty. And I want to show you, this is something that happens. It's browning on the white. The white part is way more sensitive, especially to light. I did have the Sansi grow light closer and I put it further away, so I'm not sure if this is the cause, but I was like, let's just put it a little bit farther away. And so we will see, but that's normal, guys. It happens. So please don't freak out if you have like some brown spots on your white leaf of any variegated plant. Philodendron Falcatum, also known as the Tesla plant, but it is not its official name. This is just what the houseplant community started to call it after Jake from Keep Your Plants on LA named his giant one the Tesla plant, and it just stuck in the plant community to call it that way. Here we have my tiny Epiprenum, the variegated one, the elbow, and this is an import plant from Indonesia, but I did have it for a while now and it finally acclimated, so it's putting out a new leaf. I am super proud of it, and they can also get huge. This is like a beautiful plant. It may not look like much right now, but it is gorgeous. Also, this one is the Anthurium Luxurians hybrid, the Syrii. Anyways, it has beautiful dinosaur leaves, also imported from Indonesia. Then we have another philodendron. I just call it the horse head. I was told that this is actually a hybrid, but I don't have any proof of it because I just received a cutting, but it's a huge one. And then we have my Monstera Dubia, which is like growing wild and it's trying to attach to the artwork in the back, and I don't mind it. I just let it do its thing, and it's reaching for the grow light and growing. So the Sansi grow light I can highly recommend. Here we have my sad looking Philodendron Pink Princess. It do have root rot, and I will be putting it into water, soon. So yeah, I know I don't even have to like look at the roots. I already know from experience that this is root rot looking at the leaves. So it will go into water soon, when I find time. But it's a beautiful plant. Look at that variegation from Gabriella Plants Online Nursery. And here we have Hoya Retusa. It is one of my favorite Hoyas because it's trading. So I'm a sucker for trading plants. And it's just, I don't know, it just reminds me of hair. And I love like things like tingling down and, leaves. So one of my favorite Hoyas. Just like to touch it. It's just, I don't know, plants that you can touch and that like tickle your hand. It's just, I don't know. Am I weird? Okay, Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, the OG. What do I mean if I say OG? It's the non-tissue culture one. I've had this for quite a while. Like, I don't know, maybe, 2 years? 1.5 years, 2 years before the whole tissue culture thing, got started and hyped. So yeah, I got this gifted from a friend. But I do have also the tissue culture one, which is in the living room, which is going to be a different video. Here we have the Hoya Chelsea, round, beautiful leaves, thick, waxy Hoya leaves, which I love. I put it in water and it's juicy. It's one of my newest plants. And this is another pink princess. It's a small one, but it's super cute. And you can see I've done a ton of top cuttings. So I love to take cuttings. I love to propagate. So you will probably hear that throughout the video. Oh, take cuttings here, take cuttings there. And I love plant swaps. So I need cuttings. And here we have my Monstera Dubia. And I love that it's like growing around the wood. And then, okay, don't hate, but you can see I don't have a lot of space left. So I had to tuck the Hoya fishtail in the back, but you can see the Sansi grow light is powerful and it gets a lot of light. So, and it put out some new leaves. So no hate comments here. I'm taking care of the Hoya fishtail. Philodendron Holtanianum, and it is a elongated philodendron with elongated leaves, and they're strappy, and I love it. Love, 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 love it. Right now it's also looking like a tea, and it's putting out new leaves. So I'm super excited about that one. My second variegated Monstera, and look at it. Doesn't it look like the twin to my other one? And this one is as well from Logis, and I purchased it 1 year later. But you can see, like, look at that variegation. It is beautiful, and I call it the Logis DNA. And I did do a top cutting here as well, so the plant paid for itself. I warned you about me mentioning top cuttings, but this is just the way that I can justify spending money on price intensive plants to have them basically pay for themselves. So if you're looking for a variegated Monstera, my only recommendation to you is Logis. So if you go and buy one somewhere else and the variegation is not good or the plant dies, then it's only you to blame, because I did tell you where to buy a beautiful, healthy plant. And everyone I know is super happy with their Logis variegated Monsteras. My big Philodendron Pink Princess, it has 2 bottom leaves that are huge, but then I did top cuttings, of course, to have the plant pay for itself and to promote pink. So because it was sold to me as a reverted Pink Princess from Logis, but when it arrived, it had pink on the stem, and I'm like, damn, we're doing top cuttings, we're gonna promote some variegation, and it worked. You can see every second leaf is putting out variegation. This one popped up out already. It's already unfurled. It has variegation, so you can get lucky purchasing a reverted plant. But my intention was not to have it revert back into variegation. I purchased it because it was more affordable back then, and I wanted a dark plant with dark leaves. So, and I already had pink princesses too at that time. I was just lucky, really lucky, and that the plant arrived with pink on the stem. The Philodendron hetera something. I'm so sorry. Usually I'm good with the names, but I did forget it. It is a similar plant like a Philodendron Patricia. It can get as big as it. It has like a same structure, but not as visible later on, but kind of the same. And now we are like forcing our way down here to the Hoya Matilda in the top 5 of the cutest plant leaves ever. Look at those tiny round button leaves. They are hanging and trailing. It's just the cutest thing ever. And I love trailing Hoyas. You can wrap them on a trellis and attach them to a pole, but I prefer them trailing, hanging down, and with a lot of movement, like hair. Like I don't know. I'm weird like that. I like them to just like hang down and flow with the wind. Very easy and very common and affordable, which makes this Hoya, the Hoya Vietnam Eye, one of my top 5 Hoyas to get. If you are wanting to start collecting Hoyas, this should be in your top 5. Let's chat about the plant in the back, the Monstera Standaliana green form, and it is not its official name yet. If you are looking for information about the plant, it has not been reclassified. You will find it on the website of the International Aroids Society under the name Philodendron Tongue, or you can watch a very informative YouTube video from Summer Rain Oaks, also under the name Philodendron Tongue. And you might know this plant as in the form of the Monstera Standaliana variegated. But funny enough, surprisingly, the green form is harder to get than the variegated Standaliana, which usually is not the case. It's usually the other way around. But in this case, the green form is harder to get than the variegated one. And here we have the Philodendron silver spot, the Hestatum. And I love silver leaves. This is such a beautiful plant. I can highly recommend it. And here we have, what do you think? Is that the Philodendron horsehead? Almost. This is a hybrid. It is the Philodendron Jerry horn. It is a hybrid, but it looks, honestly, like it looks the same. There is a slight difference in the mature form than to the bipinfolium, and I love it so much that I actually got 2 of the Jerry horns. One is in the living room, but I do also have the bipinfolium, which you're gonna see later on in the video. The Dendron Birkin is a very good example to talk about price increases in the plant community. Last year, 2019, this plant went for around $200 and now you can get it as low as $25. So let that sink in for a second. And here we have the Philodendron Brandy, the beautiful silver leaves. I did saw a plant collection tour video here on YouTube where someone had this plant for years and the leaves were huge, gigantic. Philodendron Chironiae, very underrated leaf, very underrated plant in my opinion. I don't see a lot of people showcasing it, and mine is tiny. I did do top cuttings, of course, but in this case, this is a plant that I never successfully were able to root after I did cutting, so I stopped. I tried it 3 times and all of them died. I don't know what's going on, but now I'm just letting it grow and do its thing. So, I lost the fight. I lost the propagation fight. This plant did not pay for itself. Anyways, let's go and take a look at this cute Alocasia. It is also an import plant from, I think, Thailand. Is it? I'm not sure. I dropped it in water for the only reason that I don't have a plant pot right now available for it. But it's doing like really good. It's been in there for weeks now, so I know that's not an excuse. I've been to the nursery, I could have gotten a pot, but I just didn't. And it's doing great. So Alocasia cuprea, definitely my favorite Alocasia, and I only have 2, and I think it's gonna stay that way. I think it's gonna stay that way. I am not that lucky with the Alocasias. Hoya Vietnam Eye. This plant has not changed since I got it 2 years ago. No new leaf, no old leaves died. It has been frozen in time. This is the Antherium Cuticuensis, an endangered Anthurium from Ecuador. Drama surrounds this plant because of it's being endangered and people going and ripping it out of its natural habitat, which was a huge problem back in 2019. And so there was like, the debate, should you purchase it or not? How do you know that this plant doesn't come from someone who poached it? Philodendron Dark Lord, and I'm doing these signs because it looks exactly like my Philodendron Royal Queen. And this is a import plant from Indonesia, sold to me as a Dark Lord. It does have the reddish underside, but I am not fully convinced yet. I have to wait until this plant matures, but this is what it was sold to me. I'm always skeptical, so I'm like a skeptical person always, but I mean, it does have the reddish underside. I am ashamed. Yes, I am. I am ashamed for putting the Philodendron Burmax Fantasy in the back behind plants where I cannot see it. But it will change. I am getting rid of a lot of plants and I'm going quality over quantity, and it will get its prime deserved spot. Here we have the Philodendron Pastisanum, the Philly Pasta. And I have a second one in my IKEA glass cabinet. If you haven't watched the video, I transformed a IKEA glass cabinet into a tropical terrarium, over 6 foot tall, and there I have a second Philodendron Pastisanum in it. If you haven't watched it, it's here on the channel. Go and check it out. You won't regret it. Here we have the Philodendron Florida Ghost, and I will be selling this one. I will be selling most of the smaller plants. Fortunately, I have to inform you that the Rhaphidophora you are seeing right here is no longer with us. I failed to root it. It went to a better place. And I just want to let you guys know that even people that you think have it all, have like amazing collection, have like YouTube channels and all that, they do fail. And plants do die under their care. So if it happens to you, don't be encouraged. It happens to the best of us. Here's the Monstera Thai Constellation. I do had 2 of them. One had way more variegation, but I like the speckled variegation more on the Thai Constellation. So I chose to sell the one with more variegation and kept that one. My number 1 tip for every Monstera, because they're prone to root rot, is to put them in a airy soil mixture with orchid bark, charcoal, and cactus soil, and perlite if you want to, or tree fern. And this is the Philodendron Tongue. That's how I call it, because I feel the leaves look like tongues. And the mature ones can get huge. I mean, look. Like this, like 5 feet, like 5 feet, they're huge. And I got this one from Ecuagenera, the Ecuadorian website, and they are quite affordable. This was $40 US, and they're still available on the site last time I checked. Very underrated plant, highly recommended. So let's talk about Hoyas more. This is in my number 5 favorite Hoyas. For sure, the Hoya Rot und die Flora, and I did do a huge top cutting and traded this plant for another wishlist plant for a Philodendron Patricia. I just had to say it. But that was after I filmed the video, so you will not see it in this video. You will see something else, something like horrifying. But back to the Hoya. The Hoya, it has the most unique shaped leaves, right? Like these square leaves. That is just gorgeous. This one was an import from Thailand from a Etsy shop called Thai Lucky. I always get asked where did I got this from, because it's like so big, full, and lush, and it's from the Thai Lucky store from Etsy. Check them out. It was very affordable for the huge size of it. And then we have here a Hoya Imprecata. If you've seen my Hoya collection video, you remember that one. And here we have a Monstera, the very good one. Which one is that? That's the Aurea, the Monstera Aurea. I won this one in a giveaway, guys. Participate in giveaways. You can win. I won this one. That is like a very, very expensive cutting and plant. So I'm super excited. I'm rooting it, and it is root bound. Another Hoya Vietnam, also thick waxy leaves with dark veining, but it's not the same. This one is more rounder, and the first one, the very first plant we saw, the Hoya Vietnam, was way more pointy, and this one is traded and actually put out 3 new leaves in my care. Can we just appreciate the dark leaf? No filter, guys. That's how dark the leaves are. The Philodendron Jose Bueno, sold to me as Philodendron Variegata, but I was informed there is not really a difference between the plants, and because the Jose Bueno is more the common name that people use, I'm gonna stick with that. Look how huge it is, how huge and dark the oldest leaves are, and how cute the new leaf is that came in. It is a huge plant, and if you go and check out my Instagram, you will see me with the plant holding it, and you can see how massive the leaves are with me as comparison. A variegated Monstera Elbow. What? There's no variegation? Damn, you're right, because it's a reverted one. I did saw some tiny speckles of variegation. You can see it on the front, and then if you switch it, you see it on the back. This is how you know that this is variegation, not just mold or discoloration. And so I said, I'm just gonna gamble. I'm gonna gamble on it, and I will see if I can make this one turn to a variegated plant again. There is a tiny line of variegation on the stem at the bottom of the plant. So I'm gonna wait 5-6 more leaves. If nothing happens, I will chop it back down to where the variegation on the stem is, to see if this will help promote plant growth with variegation on it. So I already have 2 variegated Monsteras and the Aurora cutting. So, I thought I can take a gamble and see if I can make it work. Here we have a Philodendron Crescinervium. Is that something similar like this? This is a huge cutting I received from a local nursery. And, they had this huge thing hanging. And I asked if they are selling the plant, and they said no. I said, would you consider selling a cutting? And they said, no, we are not selling it, but the plant is so big right now that we do have to cut it back, and I will give you the cutting. I'm like, oh my God, that's like, I'm like so blessed. So I asked the right person at the right time. They did have to cut the plant anyways, and they gave the cutting to me. And it's a huge, beautiful plant. I don't know if you see what is right next to it. You see that black thingy hanging there? I don't know. Should we talk about it? Should we? It's gonna make me sad though. Okay, let's do it. This is a Philodendron Patricia. It doesn't look like it. It is rotting. It doesn't have any roots, obviously. I ordered it. I ordered it from Equa Genera in Ecuador. It cost me $150 without shipping. I did pay for fast shipping. And it came with root rot. I cut it, I posted it in my Instagram stories, and I received like tons of like people who have like all these great advice. And I followed some of them, and it took just a turn for the worst. So I'm holding on to it, but it's dead. There's nothing that could be saved. I know that, but I'm still holding on to it so deeply. because I'm so sad. But there's nothing that anyone can do to save this. It's a goner. It's like, I'm keeping it to remind me to not spend that much money for imported plants anymore. So it's like it's a slap in my face every time I see it. So here is the Monstera Peru. It's the variegated one. What are you talking about, Denise? There's no variegation on it. I know that this is a variegated one because the bottom leaves did have variegation on it, but they died off. While acclimating, I received it as a cutting, unrooted cutting, and now I put out 2 new leaves, and it will put out variegation, hopefully at some point again. Here in the back, we have a Philodendron pedatum, the ghost leaf. They look like tiny, like cartoon ghosts. And also, look again, my second item vanilla humidifier is blasting beautiful. So you can see that I have one on each corner for this side of the room. And they are my favorite. Like I said, find the link in the description. Here we have my huge string of hearts, and it's enjoying the mist. It doesn't have anything against the humidifier and the mist. So this is a huge pot with different plants in it. These are mother plants, how I call them, plants that I take cuttings of for plant swaps, plant trades, or if I want to sell some plants and make a little money on the side, then this is where I would take some of the cuttings from. And we have in here the Philodendron silversword, the Hestatum. We have in here the Philodendron bipinfolium, the horsehead. We have in here also the Monstera Standaliana green form. We have the Royal Queen. Here is it. You remember? Let's turn around. See, no red back. And we have here Rhaphidophora tetraspermas as well in it. What else do we have here? We have a few plants stuck into that giant pot. I think that's what, a 12-inch pot? No, I think something like 12, 16, I don't know, not sure. It's a huge pot with a lot of different plants in it. And yeah, I don't know, they don't mind it. They really don't mind being in there together. They enjoy the company, and it's cute. I don't know, I like it. But I've took so many cuttings that right now I have to let it chill and rest and let it grow back. So here we have my second string of hearts. It's also a long one, but it's still a bold on the top. So it's cute. I have to cut it. I have to definitely cut it back. And it is tangled, and I'm not wasting any time in untangling it. In the beginning of my plant collection journey, I did try to untangle my string of hearts, but I'm defeated. I'm officially defeated. Here there is the Hoya Lunararis, and also one of my top Hoyas because it is a trailing plant and it is soft. It's like so soft and cozy, and you just can't stop touching it. All these fuzziness, this beautifulness, it's gorgeous. I mean, what else can I say? It's gorgeous. And all my Hoyas don't mind the high humidity. They actually love it. Love, love, love it. And in the back, hiding a small Hoya and another one, wait for it, it's no longer with me. I had this one for a long time as well, over a year, but it didn't make it. It's gone. It's a goner. The Anthurium crystallinum. If you have watched my old houseplant tour video, you will remember maybe the huge one that had like 10 leaves. I did sell it, and then I regret selling it, and then I had to get a new one, which is like super tiny. Here we have a tiny propagation station. It is wood, handmade from Makazi made, and I am propagating here a Philodendron pink princess. You will see the lower 4 leaves. The bigger one didn't have any pink, but the cut promoted it, and the 2 new leaves came out with pink. By the time you will see the video, the plant actually has put out roots and is working on a 3rd leaf. Winner! Also in the propagation station, Melanochrysum, Philodendron Melanochrysum cuttings, 2 one on the left side, one on the right side. This one put out tiny roots and also a new leaf. The first one is a little struggling, but who cares? It has roots and it put out new leaf. That's all that matters if you are propagating, and old leaves, they die. So I am totally fine with that. Alocasia fried egg, and I'm so done with alocasias. I told you I only have two, and I only like the cupria, and this is, I gave this plant to my boyfriend, so I don't have it anymore. He took it into his tattoo shop where he's going to take care of it. He has multiple alocasias in his shop, and all of them are doing good. So bye, take it, I am out. I am out. And then we have the Philodendron micans. It's like such a fall plant. It has like these tiny heart-shaped leaves that are velvety soft, and the red-brown color just screams fall. One of my favorite plants, Anthurium Forgetty Eye. If I could only keep 5 plants in my whole collection, this one would be one of them. It is gorgeous. It has no sinus. It is a round leaf. It's velvety. Mine is super dark. You see there's no filter. You can see how dark the leaves are, even though it's in a bright room. It's gorgeous. And then here we have the Antherium Metallicum, my number 1 favorite plant. If I could only keep one, that's the one. I don't care about the Variegated Monstera, the Pink Princess. That's the one that I will keep. My Anthurium Metallicum. It has 4 giant leaves, and they are velvety, and they are green, and they are beautiful. It needs to get its own dedicated spot because it's grown so big and in all directions, so it's gonna go there in front of the window. Here we have some more propagations in the back. I think these are Monstera Siltipicanas in water. We have a variegated string of Hoyas, a tiny one, hanging out under the Metallicum. And then we have the Philodendron gloriosum, also a tiny one. Guys, you know how huge the leaves can get. But I have a tiny one which I propagated, and it's rooting and putting out new leaves. And here in the back, there is a Philodendron gigas. I know you can hardly see it because of all the mist created by my third Itvanila floor standing humidifier, but it is there. Trust me. Trust me, it's somewhere there. Right here. It has like beautiful dark green leaves. Beautiful, gorgeous. See, I told you, it's right here. So it's a lot of mist, sorry. And then we have the Anthurium Warquianum, the Queen Anthurium, and it is gorgeous. Beautiful. We have the new leaf that's coming, and by the time you see that, the new leaf is already fully grown, and it is bigger than the one you see right here. It is not the dark or narrow form. It is the regular form, even though it's kind of dark on the leaves. But I'm lucky, most of my plant leaves turn out dark. And here we have the Monstera Dubia in the back. And it doesn't look like the regular Dubia, right? But it is the velvet shingler. So it doesn't have the silver pattern. It is velvety, which is awesome. Here's the third string of hearts, the regular one, also hanging right there on the spot. And this one doesn't grow for me. The others you saw grow extreme. Here we have an Ace of Spades. I don't want to talk about it much because it's giving me a hard time. It's always something going on with this plant, always. And do you see that one tiny leaf? That's a varicosum. Sorry, it's like in the corner, but that's I have like a varicosum hiding behind all of that. Anthurium crystallinum here on the top. And then we have the Philodendron Compassanum. You know which one I mean. Here we have the Elechomes humidifier top fill. Highly recommended. Top fill humidifier. It's a game changer. This is in the Philodendron Villananrum. It's really underrated. It has a unique shape and those wide veinings. And here we have the Philodendron melanochrysum. I did screw up big time. I put it into my IKEA glass cabinet and it was not doing good. I had to rip it off again. So I really screwed up. Philodendron Luxurians right here. And this is a little beat up, but we have a new one coming out. Silver dollar vine, new growth. It's growing like crazy. I know people say that it's a slow grower, but you can see like mine is huge. I never had an issue. When it starts pushing out, it doesn't push out constant growth, but when it starts, then it goes for a while, then it stops again, and then it comes back. Here we have like my propagation shelf, stuff that I'm propagating and rooting, and we have an Ethereum Luxurian hybrid. We have a baby Crystallinum here with new leaves, and we have the Monstera Standaliana green form. We have Antherium Cuticuensis that I'm propagating here. We have the pigskin Philodendron. What else do we have here? We have the silver sword. We have Philodendron pedatum. These I gifted to my friend. It's the Anthurium Patricia and the Anthurium gracile. This is a sign of root rot. You see that? That's a sign of root rot. If you see that, check your plant. It has root rot or no roots, usually because of root rot. And tiny melanochrysum cuttings, not in water. I'm trying to root it in moss, so I'm trying different things. Well, you see it's like super tiny. Then we have, what is that? That is a red emerald. And then my Hoya obovata, which usually sits right there in the prime spot, but I didn't have any. I need to come up. I have space issues. So it will go back because from all the Hoyas, even the fancy one, the Hoya obovata is my favorite one. And it will need, that's like, it looks so cute. Yeah, so I'm gonna change it space again, but it's hanging out right here for now. And it's putting out new growth still, even though it's in a dark corner, but it's putting out new growth, so I'm excited about it. My number one favorite Hoya obovata, and it is coming, and it is affordable, and you can get it almost everywhere. Recommended. Okay, that's my shelf of shame. It's dirty, it's filthy, it's a shame shelf. Here I'm rooting Rhaphidophoras, and a random peperomia. Random peperomia piece. And then we have, I don't know, more pedestal, more silver sword, more horsehead, and that is it. I just screamed, sorry, but that is it. We made it. That's the bedroom. That's like my plant tour. That's like all the plants I have in my bedroom. Is it? Did I forget anything? Wait, let me remember. No, but that's it. You see the Sansi grow light. I have 3 Itvanila humidifiers. You saw the Elechomes humidifier top fill. Highly recommend. We'll have the link in the description. That's it. Oh, and did you realize that on the left side, the side that we just checked, I have all velvety leaves? I did that on purpose. So I have all like the velvety leaves on the left side, and then variegated and shiny leaves on the right side, mixed with Hoyas and stuff. But yeah. Oh, and I have a fan. So, oh my God, so much humidity. Aren't you scared of mold? And then your wood floor. Yes, of course. But I do have, when I have my humidifiers running, I do have a fan that is blowing. And because I am in California, you see I even have the windows open. You saw that the window was open to create constant airflow so that the water doesn't sit on the wood, on the wall. And because it's so hot here in Los Angeles, even during winter time, it's like the sun is shining, the water dries very fast. But that's it. Oh my, yeah. Ta-da, that's it. Woohoo! That's the room. That's all the plants. That is a lot of plants. I am downsizing. I can't wait to get rid of some.